Good morning, Belize. Welcome to the morning show. I'm Ernesto, a little horse this morning, and my co-host this morning is Rich. And don't be concerned, Rich. This is one of the song bad, no feel bad situation, you know.
Well, good morning, Ernesto. Good morning, Belize. I hope that it does get better soon. I understand that feeling. It's quite irritating, but at least you don't have those major symptoms that would usually
Yeah,
accompany a sore throat and
yeah.
being
I
feeling
think
hoarse. Had a little bit too much excitement yesterday.
probably, yeah, something like that.
Now, that's a
Something
logical
like
explanation.
that.
But it is a beautiful Friday morning. The
Yeah.
sun is outshining brightly. People are on the move and know that there's plenty of things we can complain about. And trust me, I've been seeing all of the complaints that have been going around. But nonetheless, we're still going to try to sprinkle a little bit of that positivity into your day. Otherwise, we're going to start off the weekend on the wrong foot.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it positive, but we can't avoid what's happening. So we try to do a blend, a mix of it. Good morning to you, and we'll be chatting with you, opening up the show this morning. I can't wait for this one. Miss Universe Belize will be in chatting with us this morning about her plans as she heads to the Miss Universe contest. And there is also a play being staged, and we'll find out about that. I'm sure you heard of it. A woman
Yes.
named Nora. The stage production is coming to Belize, and we'll find out more about that this morning. The Belize Music Agency and the Belize Cancer Society Jazz and Dine benefit concert, that's coming up as well, and the FFB Youth Championship finale and NAIC finals in football also. So a lot of things that happen to keep you busy. What else is new? Oh,
Well, the Belito number. So, if
correct.
you're wondering what was last night's winning Belito number, 5656, 56. Last night's winning Belito number. Congrats if you are a winner. If not, you can always try again tonight. All right.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back and we'll open the lines if you want to chat with us. Welcome back, everybody. This is the morning show on a Friday morning, the 21st day of August 2026. And September isn't creeping up on us. Actually, it's coming in a rush.
Speaking about Rush, next week is the mass camp visits.
Yeah.
So get ready because I know people are accustomed to it being the first week of September. My speculation is that because there's the extended Frankie Renoff concert because it's going to be 3 nights.
Yeah.
And I think they wanted to try to spread out as much activity so there's it allows everyone to attend each and every activity if they choose to do so. So if you're next week, your neighborhood where you have one of the mass bands, if some night you hear the music, you know it's because it's their mass camp night, which should be good. Of course, we will be covering all of those as well. I think Monday is going to be 3 of them. Tuesday and Wednesday is 4. And
Has an official program been published?
Yes, for the September. Yes, there's one on the. If you can go on the National Celebrations Commission Facebook page, they should have a link for a virtual one. Physical copies, I am not too sure if there are any physical.
What's the the page name? National Celebration.
Well, it's on on their Facebook page. They should have a link to download it, a PDF which has the breakdown by each municipality and what events you can expect during the September celebrations. I looked at Belize City because, well, that's where I live, and it's quite packed. It seems like just about every single night leading up to the 21st. Some very interesting newly added ones. There's going to be a museum, a tour. I forgot what kind of tour, but it's for high school students on a Saturday. It's like a tour of Belize's history, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to get that down again. But yeah, like I was saying, there is a large amount of different activities that has occurred, and I'm glad to see that there's more being added onto it, just to make the September celebrations feel like a celebration of sorts. Because if you had 1 or 2 here, a break in between, it kind of lets it feel less of that celebration mood.
You can stay busy.
You can stay busy, indeed. And don't worry about money woes, because I know some people are concerned about money woes, but a good amount of some of these events, they are free to attend. Like, for example, the 9th of September, the Battle of St. George's Key, the Eve. There's going to be the Living Legends concert series, and this year it's going to be featuring, or they're going to be honoring Super G.
Oh boy!
So Super G is going to be the name on it. So it's supposed to be a good night for that. But apart from that, I do want to mention one thing, Ernesto. I've noticed that that right here by the roundabout, by Atlantic Bank, they're starting to do some construction there, and it brings to mind about the other constructions that we can expect, because we know that we've been hearing about the repairs and then the new bridges that are going to be built, and we have already seen the early stages of the temporary bridges that will replace, or not replace us, be a substitute for those in the meantime. And I'm just wondering how early we can expect them to be built, when it will be, when the Swing Bridge and the Bell Can Bridge will not be in commission. Because I don't know if anyone thinks like me, but I like to think ahead, and I'm starting to think about commute whenever you need to, how that
You'll have a change of route, how you get around. Yeah, it's going to be a little inconvenience in the beginning, but we'll have to adapt. We'll have to adapt to it, because it's going to take a while before the new bridges are in operation. So I think though that vehicular traffic will still be able to pass. They are making the temporary bridges will allow some, not heavy traffic, but I think some traffic will be able to pass.
It's just up to drivers to adapt to it, because I know that there's many questions, concerns, people arguing that why this has to be done, why both of them has to be done at the same time, how it will affect. But just like whenever you see there's any kind of construction, like especially on the Western Highway right now, there's construction being done. They're fixing the road. So we have to adapt with what would I say, with progress? With progress.
Progress ring problems?
Yes. So there's some problems for commuters already, but afterwards you're gonna forget about that and you're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
enjoy
we'll
it.
get around. We'll get around. Hello, caller. Good morning. This is Love.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just need to make a request, no? The Cycling Association is hosting this Junior International
Yes.
Caribbean race this weekend.
Yes.
But the course between the Rimers and Sancas roundabout, there are a number of small potholes that the council needs to address. There are several near the design depot. There are other holes near the electricity board. There are holes over the speed bump by West Truck. And along the way, there's other small holes that you don't want the riders to get punctured unnecessarily in these holes because it's a fast race, no?
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up.
If you could ask the council, please address this before the race comes up Sunday.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
We did have the officials from the Cycling Association here
Yesterday.
a few days ago, and they did mention that they take a look at the surface of the streets and roads, and they do get the potholes repaired. But the caller is calling and saying that there are some that have not been repaired.
So it means it
And
would have to be
I don't know
fixed for right now because I don't think you have
time
time
much
to do a full.
to do that now. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Morning, I want to get on the show, please.
You're on the show. This is Love.
Oh, sorry. Listen to me. I live in a ticket here. I want to how come them put it just jack up them right Ghana since Monday with those no association for transport. You think that's legal or what?
No, I don't think that's legal.
Huh?
I don't think that is legal. No, they can't just jack up prices on the transport.
Well, that's the way it's going on right now.
And they jack up right now the
On
prices.
Monday. And jack the price on $2 to $3.
Yeah, well, you know that right now the bus association is threatening to strike on Monday.
Yeah, but it's the Bosito and it is the Bosito and the Teopan. Why you can't look outside carry window and the inside and jack up the price without no authorization from government. I don't think that's
Yeah, they're threatening government right now. So
no, that's the big bus. I have but mini bus then the Bosito and the Kerupan, Bemopan to Kettle.
oh,
So then the raising prices too as well.
Then jack up the price Monday, but they just decide one day here and say $3 now or whatever. From $2 to $3. I mean, that's crazy without no authorization from
no,
government.
as far as I know, they're regulated by the transport department as well. So they can't just raise like that either.
Transport the government.
Thank you for telling us. Somebody's listening. Don't worry. Somebody's
And
listening.
People just pay and say that, you know, man, that's crazy, better. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's that situation. You know, like you said when we opened the show this morning, we try to keep it as positive as we can, or we try, because you know there are things happening that are more favorable or more positive for the country, but unfortunately, the cost of living, which affects everyone who's a millionaire, rich, just your name, Rich, I know. Does affect your life on a daily basis, and people who are living on a budget do feel the effect the minute that a price goes up by $1 or 25 cents. They feel it. Hello, caller. Good morning. This is Love. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a problem where this is a man who raped and Ghana prison that past Monday. He should get 10 years, you know, because he made a lead flock of people. And then he do that act. He should get at least 50 years. I don't agree with the 10 years at all.
I got your caller. We are listening.
And what you think? You don't believe he get good 10 years for nothing?
Mom, I prefer not to comment on that. Because of who I am and my position here, I have to be careful what I say when it comes to something like that. But you have all the right to say so. and we're really happy that you call, and that's how we get the information out of what our people are thinking.
You see, when you say you're a Christian and you're a lead flock, you have to know and be
Yeah,
careful
yeah.
what you do.
We do have an issue with
What about
accountability.
the sinner people them now will listen that now after going to the church now? How you think that I go work better?
No, I agree.
You understand?
Yes, we
It
understand.
hurt me. It's not my child. It's not my family, but it hurt
Yeah,
bad. Okay then.
yes.
Tell him.
Yes, sometimes we don't agree with the court's decision, the judge's decision when setting
A sentence or whatever. It is simple. For me personally, I can't really chime in fully because I don't know the extent of the law. Well, the law that.
Well,
when it
there's a
comes to
maximum
sentencing.
usually and a minimum
I know.
sentence you can apply.
And, I mean, I could understand person's frustration with the amount of time
Yeah.
and given the seriousness of the issue, and I guess that's also in comparison to past persons where they might have received a stiffer a sentence for a similar offense.
Yeah.
I could understand
Yeah.
that. But what's I don't know. I'm trying to be too
No,
sad,
no,
but-
you're right, and that's what happens. And I mean, I sympathize with the caller. I understand where that's coming from. We all have those kinds of opinions. I'm not legally qualified to get into it. It would be it would be my opinion. But I agree with what you just said. We have too many examples of where the crime committed, you will react and say, hey, the punishment does not fit the crime, while there are other crimes occurred, and especially we tend to believe, and we think rightly so, that persons who are more disenfranchised or can't afford a good lawyer or just simply poor, like you say, get more punishment than somebody who has
Kind of.
financial or has a position and can, I guess, is known in public. And yes, we do that. We tend to do that. I mean, my example right now is this gentleman who just patted the Jaguar and
okay.
paid his fine, while somebody who beat up on Belizean and deported in Belize, we still can't figure this out, you know. So somebody will say, hey, Ernest, you know, work like that. But honestly, optics are the whole thing. It's how we see it, how we feel, and that's how we react to these things. And I agree with the caller. You know, she may be wrong, but that's not the point. The point is how we see it.
That's true.
But it depends on the judge. It depends on the court. Some judges are more lenient. They look at all the mitigating factors. They supposedly look at everything and then decide. They look. I suspect. I don't know if I could be a judge.
Yeah.
You know, I see a pretty face and then I get to a less sentence and somebody I don't like. You know.
I think a big part of it too has to do with, like you said, the optics that this is somebody who is a part of the church. And you know, over the years, we've had plenty of Belizeans who've had this certain outlook on the church, not in a positive way. There's been this, I like to say, probably like a fracture from that, where persons might view what the church or persons from the church are doing might be for their own self-interest and not really for that of Belize. They might. I think that they view it because of the how vocal the churches are on certain issues, but how they might be hush on other ones, and they might feel that they're being a bit hypocritical. But that's just what part of the optics what I think people are looking at, because they feel they might believe, okay, this is a pastor. Because he's been held so high in regard in society, because the churches want portray themselves as supposedly to be this moral compass for the country, that they should be held at higher accountability. Which, in a sense, I can understand that, but I think so that we often make that become we get confused, or we kind of.
You're on the right track there, Rich. I mean, we have examples recently, well, let's put it this way. We could hold a discussion on the church-state relationship, which many will look at it and say, we need to look at that more closely because the church has fragmented so much. This pastor is part of a group of religious leaders who is a separate group from the churches we knew and grew up with. But even the churches we grew up with have a bad reputation. The Catholic Church
because
itself
they're associated to a religion.
Of how their priests have behaved in the past. It's up to you as a person. They say never discuss religion and politics, but we sit here and we have to bring up these subjects. Is how the relationship is with you and your church and your God. That's what it comes to. They recently, remember the whole debacle with the SMART and so on.
Yes.
And when cabinet said,
no,
we will meet with the chamber, we will meet with the union, but not necessarily with the NGOs and the churches. You understand? They took offense to that. Me personally, I agree to that. Because like you said, at this point, the churches have a job. The churches have a job to do. But the churches, if you're going to be a church leader, and sometimes what the Bible tells you is not what the government tells you to do. So even in the Bible it says, you have God's law and you have the law of man. Sometimes they won't agree. So you have to decide, at this point I will follow the law of the land, of the law of man, of the law of Caesar, and not the church. If you look at the Ten Commandments, where does the Ten Commandments say, thou shalt not rape a child? It's not there. Or you should not beat up your wife, So you start to look at these things and start to decide, well, everyone has a place. They have their place. They have their job to do. And at some point we have to decide as individuals and as a country where it's going to fit. In China, they don't push religion to the children until they reach a more mature age. They teach the child to basically work, to be honest, work for the state. When you reach a certain age, then you're introduced more into religion. We start with religion first. And they tell you that's why a lot of the African countries have come up under that. The colonizer taught them about religion first. I lived in Nigeria, and they talk about pastors. You want to see churches, you want to see... They have churches bigger than Fui City Center, about 3 or 4 times bigger. They have private jets. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah, but one thing I just want to close it off, I just want to say one thing, just like with everything else, don't put don't let one person's action reflect the organization, whatever they represent, because it could be unfair. One person's action does not dictate the entire thought or feelings or actions of an entire organization or unit.
But look at it this way. We have the action of a couple of ministers that's under scrutiny at this point. And look at it, it's reflecting on the whole government.
It is.
Because at some point you have what you call have communal or responsibility, and if you're going to be a church leader, you're right. He did it, I didn't. But at some point I think you need, as a group, to face it and say, well, why is this happening? Not just move on.
Not just keep it
you have a responsibility,
Agreed.
So it's the same thing has happened to government, because a couple of public servants are doing so and so, it reflects on the whole public service. Yeah, a couple of ministers, it reflects on all the ministers. Because that's its work. We're a group. We anything happens in the media, the whole media get a backlash.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything. By the way, I want to congratulate our colleague, Jules Vasquez for winning an investigative award from the Caribbean Broadcasting Association, Caribbean Broadcasting Union, and kudos to him. And this is what brings things to the fore and makes us, at the end, a better country. Because if we can't look within ourselves and decide how we want to behave and how we want to act, especially outside, internationally, because even though we don't want to lead country, like we say, we
celebrate
can't
our-
change policies, but we are still here. We are still human. We are still a country, and at some point, I watch all of the movies where the world end, and I tell myself, nobody blow up Belize, no creatures come here. So at the end of the day, everybody want to Belize. Can New York, the bus up, London, you know. What I
So
mean?
it's just going to become a haven in the
It's a
future.
haven that we have to close three borders going on nobody else here.
Okay, so I managed to pull up the before we go to the break. I want to bring up the calendar, right? Particularly here in
Oh
Belize.
yeah, the September calendar.
Yes, I'm not going to go through the entire thing,
No.
but I just want to give you
Do some highlights.
highlights of some of the ones that you can expect coming up. So, like I had mentioned, the Carnival Mass Camp visits, they start on Monday and it goes through to Thursday of next week. Following that is the Sir Barry's Billiken Bash. That's the Friday and the Saturday. It's going to be at the Marion Jones Sporting Complex, and I don't recall if it was there last year because I didn't go, but I know before it was usually held at it was at DJ Park, but no, it's at Marion Jones. I could be mistaken. Queen of the Bay pageant is going to be next week Saturday at the Belize Civic Center. Then, of course, on the 1st of September, the National Flag Day flag raising ceremony that happens 6 a.m. right by the, what I call it, the Flag Monument. I'm not sure if that's the official name of it,
That's
but
Flag Monument,
there's a
yeah.
Flag Monument, so that occurs right there. Apart from that, like I was mentioning, the Francis Renault concert series is going to be the 3rd, 4th, and 6th of
Yeah,
September.
I know that'll be full.
Then we know that the Carnival and, of course, Juve in the morning is going to be on the 5th of September. The usual Fire Engine Parade on the 9th. Living Legends concert series, as I had mentioned, Super G, featuring Super G at the Lord Rayburn Plaza. That's right there by on Marine Parade. In case you don't remember the name of the plaza, then the 10th is the official ceremonies for the Battle of St. George's Key. 21st is obviously the Citizens Parade. And yeah, so that's just a few of them. As we get
Full calendar,
closer, we're
guys.
going to
Be
update
busy.
you on that. Just before we go to the break, Benny's, from start to finish, Benny's has the quality materials for all your construction needs. Get plumbing and electrical supplies and accessories with the industry certification that you need. We have Plycem and sheetrock that meet manufacturing safety and environmental standards. Also, get your roofing supplies, faucets, fasteners, ream AC units, tiles, lumber, tools, and rebar that stand up to any test. Benny's offers products with the durability and quality you need compared to cheaper substandard options in the market, which will lead to costly repairs later. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. The B-Bucks app can be downloaded on the App Store or on Google Play. Download and register today and start earning your B-Bucks. Spend them at any of the Benny's location or Benny's entities such as B-Mart, the Island Freight Forwarders, or Benquip, and you get a chance to win that $10,000 grand prize that's going to be raffled in December. That's for the Benny's homecation. So do the job the right way the first time. Remember to get the trusted materials for your building project at Benny's because quality is savings. It is 7 o'clock. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
We'll be right back with Miss Universe herself.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology
We're back, folks. We're back. This is Ernesto, hoarse Ernesto this morning. Like I say, I sound worse than well, I was about to say I look, but I have to carefully that I sound worse than I feel. And rich this morning. But our morning is brightening up very fast.
Yes, it is. I could see that you were beaming with happiness a while back because it took you back to your childhood in a sense when you saw our guest walk in.
Oh yeah,
When you gave us a story, and I'm surprised you didn't go that avenue, given that you were in contact with so much beautiful young women at an early age.
Well, thank you. I mean, for assuming that. I used to host the Miss Belize contest many years ago. They only had the Miss Belize, and at that time I was more in radio, and we only had one radio station basically, and we would broadcast the Miss Belize, which was every year around the 10th celebrations, the September celebrations. So I had the pleasure of doing that for a while.
Right.
Well,
you have another beautiful young lady here with you.
Why don't you do the honors?
Sure. Joining us on the couch this morning, we have Callie Rose West. She is the Miss Universe Belize 2026. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sure Ernesto is excited to have you here.
I just suck in my belly right now.
Before we get into Miss Universe and all of that, we want to know who is Callie Rose West at its core.
Who am I at my core?
Yes.
Well, I'm a daughter. As I said in my video, I'm human, but as well, I happen to have the attributes and the accomplishments of being a professional athlete and now Miss Universe Belize. But outside of that, I'm a sister, I'm a cousin, I'm your friend, a teammate. So a lot of people look to me for advice, motherly advice for those. Sometimes I'm not afraid to have those hard conversations, but as a whole, I'm just Callie Rose.
You grew up in Belize City?
I grew up back and forth, most of my time being in the States due to me being in school and in basketball, but
you're born here?
No, I was born in
here.
Yes, I was born in the
But you're
States.
born of Belizean parents?
Yes.
In the U.S.?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, and they are originally from where?
Mahogany Heights Village.
Mahogany Heights
Yes.
Village? Whoa. Okay. Okay, Mahogany Heights Belize. And where are they in the U.S.?
Well, my mother actually is in Belize currently.
Okay.
She travels back and forth due to my family having some things going on with hospital things going, just in those details.
But you're involved in projects in Belize?
I will be starting up a couple projects in Belize, a lot of opportunities and some changes will be coming for women's basketball here as well as for the kiddos and possible pro teams.
So you mentioned being a professional basketball player. So how did you even enter into the pageantry world? Because you seem, from the conversation we had before, you seem passionate about sports. How did you decide that, I wanted to get into this Miss Universe Belize?
Well, I was sitting on my bed in my rookie year in Mexico, scrolling through my phone on Instagram, and I seen the Miss Universe Belize applications had went live. And this was something that I had always wanted to do. I had seen it prior to my year before while I was in Kentucky finishing my last year of school and completing my 4th degree. And the time just didn't align with what I had to show up for basketball and then what I would need to be in Belize for. It just wasn't, it was going to clash more than collide. So I just took a step of faith. I honestly felt like it was God opening a window for me to step into one of my dreams because I did compete in a pageant before in the States when I was 6 years old, and it was something that was always in the back of my mind, but sports took precedent and took control.
Of that. You don't have any pictures
I should have. I can send them to you next time.
So you studied in Kentucky?
Yes.
Is that it? You mentioned Mexico. What's the connection there?
That was where my first year of professional ball, I played in Guasave, Sinaloa, Mexico for the Monjas.
Okay.
Yes.
How long were you there?
Just for a couple months, about 2-3 months.
Okay.
And then I wrapped up, went back to the States, got my stuff together, and came back to Belize.
So your degrees is in sports mostly, or?
So I have an associate's degree in communications, an associate's in psychology, my bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies, and then my final year I completed my real estate certification.
Whoa.
Well-rounded.
like
More than well-rounded.
Yeah, the communications one. But you chose, basically after leaving school, to be a professional basketball player.
Correct.
Okay. I think they just forming the women's national WNBA in the U.S., right?
Yes.
They're doing some.
Well, they've
they're
actually
upgrading
been
that.
making great steps towards
Yes.
progression as we've added more teams in the States. But for me, I've learned kind of the system of how the professional world in the States works, and due to the WNBA not being as big of a franchise as the NBA, a lot of the girls who come from high-power ranked schools, because I did play Division I basketball, it's levels 2D1, and you have your high major Division Ones, you have your mid major and your low major. I personally came from a mid major Division I. Western
Okay.
Kentucky is a very prestigious school. I'm grateful for the coaching staff there as well as my former teammates. But the reality of it is not everybody makes the cut. And some that do make the cut even miss that mark. I wouldn't say miss the mark, but their opportunities are suppressed due to the amount of resources within the WNBA itself. So a lot of girls, you see them going overseas, or they'll get a camp invite to the WNBA and use that to create better opportunities overseas. And then
Right.
you can go through the process of vetting yourself, building your stats. That way you're playing against a professional level of competition, and you can use that to your leverage once you return back to the WNBA, especially with them creating more teams.
So you might see you someday playing against Kaden Clark or Kelsey Plum.
God
or-
willing, God willing.
So this is sort of what you're doing now would look good on your resume at the end of the day.
It definitely would.
Building for what you're planning to do in the future.
Yes, it definitely would, but transparently, I feel as though they kind of work together a lot. I've been receiving a lot of questions: is how do you jump from basketball to pageant world?
That's right.
And something that I've learned is pageant is a sport. Being like in a pageant is a sport. I had to train to walk in heels. Nights I had my advisors and my close friends working with me, teaching me like the ins and outs, making sure I know to put my hip in it, keep my hands calm,
Right,
all these
right.
different things that are very similar to basketball, with me having to making sure that my handles are tight or making sure that I'm following through when I shoot my shot. So there were a lot of similarities that it wasn't much of a culture shock to me. It was just more so a different platform for me to push my hard work and my work ethic towards.
Okay, so where are you now preparing for the Miss Universe?
I am currently getting ready to leave Belize, actually. I will be leaving to El Salvador next week to begin my international training for the pageant itself. I will be there for about 2.5 weeks, and then I'll return to Belize because I can't miss September festivities. Yes.
How's your Spanish, by the way, being in Mexico and all that? And you pronounce the names quite ethnically correct.
I would say habla español poquito.
Poquito,
Very,
right.
yes, but it's learning. I'm learning, trying to grow it that way. I'm fluent enough to have a conversation, more so understand than converse with someone. But I feel as though there's not a task that I can't accomplish. Like, once you put your mind to, you can see it through.
All right.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. You're probably speaking better than me, and I'm the Spanish here. But I know we were looking ahead for the Miss Universe pageant, but let's bring it back a bit to the Miss Universe Belize pageant. I want to know share with us that whole experience, what it was like for you arriving back in Belize, preparing for that, the week leading up to it, the night of it, and now the day after, waking up and realize you are Miss Universe Belize 2026.
Leading up to the pageant, I was really excited. I kept telling my mom, Mom, I feel like God is telling me to go. And actually, we faced a series of complications with me getting back to Belize. And it was kind of like, I felt like it was a message from God saying like, okay, are you going to trust me that this is for you? Or are you going to listen to what your circumstances and what it looks like you're going through in this season? And my mom, we kind of just touched and agreed on it that, Callie, this is for you. I feel as though all of this stuff is happening because something good is going to come out of it. So I just it's like, let me just go. I don't care what happens. I don't care what's trying to stop me. I'm going to get there. I ended up in Belize, and it was a beautiful experience. I met 7 beautiful girls. I've learned great attributes from them. They all carry and possess a certain, I don't know how to explain it, like a certain demeanor about them that each of them have their own special characteristics that I've grown to love. I keep in touch with them. Those are like my sisters. I've grown to love them very, very, very dearly. As well as the pageant itself, it was an experience for me because, as I stated earlier, I am used to being on the court on a different type of stage, but it allowed for me to gain different perspectives. allowed for me to network with various people I've grown to love as well. I've also got to see different parts of my country that I didn't get to prior to being in the pageant due to me being in the States with basketball, because that took up a lot of my time. And as a whole, after, it was surreal, and it still like hasn't hit me yet that like, girl, you're Miss Universe Belize. Like, and it's just an experience that I've been taking in as a whole and taking it day by day, really making a push for the things that I said I wanted through my advocacy, because that is something I'm very passionate about, bringing opportunities, job opportunities, fundraising, scholarships to Belize, because I feel like the young girls need more of a say-so within where and how they can progress into their adult lives. I've met a series of people in the States, overseas, and traveling through AAU. I've been playing basketball since I was in the 8th grade. So this has been something to me that I've always known I wanted to stay in, because the true story for women in sports is at someday it does come to an end. And this is something that they prepare us for in the States, but I feel like this is not something that is very common, especially here in Belize. Yep. I was a volleyball athlete. I ran track. I played basketball. When I got to high school, it was more so of, Callie, you have to pick one. Like, you're doing too much at one time. My practices are colliding. I'm going straight from basketball to volleyball, from volleyball to track, starting early in the morning, ending late at night. So it was just like, you know, I can see myself doing this, but what about the others? Because growing up, my mom always told me about her stories from Belize. My grandmother telling me about what's going on in Belize. And I'm like, you know, Grandma, why can't I go back to Belize? Why can't I play for my national team there? I have teammates in Egypt and Hungary and Senegal, all returning home in the summer to go play for their teams. And I was like, you know what? God, this is what I want to do. And I gave him the plans, and I just let him work, because I'm simply just the vessel. I have no power in any of
Yeah, I
this.
think the women's league here is not that developed as yet.
Yes.
They're pushing girls basketball, but not as much. Okay, you're representing Belize.
Yes.
It's awesome that you have that experience and exposure outside of Belize. I think it's very important. When you go on a platform like the Miss Universe, I mean, the women you'll be going up against, it's a big world, and the most of it that you know of is an advantage. But at the end of the day, you are representing Belize.
Correct.
So in an interviewer will say, okay, tell me about Belize. What's so good about Belize? What's your favorite thing about Belize? Paint me a picture of Belize. What will you say?
What will I say? Well, first of all, Belize is its people, our hearts and our culture. I feel as though I'm biased. I always tell people I'm very biased to where I'm from. We showcase a different type of love and welcoming that I've seen through myself through the years, even in the States, as I grew up into the woman that I've become. I've had plenty of people ask me, like, you're not from here. You don't look like you're from here. Like, what are you mixed with? What are you mixed with? I'm Belizean. What do you mean? What am I mixed with? This is me. This is who I am. And that itself, I feel as though, just allows for you to create the snowball effect of what all we have to offer through our geography, through our different tourism activities that we host and showcase as well. Visiting Altoona, I have an aunt who has a shop in Altoona and sells different little trinkets and wood-made craftsmanship, correct, that she sells, and it's always been a part of me. Being Belizean, you do not have to be born in Belize to showcase your country, to represent your country. I've carried Belize with me in Florida, in Kentucky, in New Orleans, in Iowa. All of these things, people have been made known to our culture. I also have a cooking business, Belizean Bites, where people were allowed or able to try our food and gain different experiences just through our food, like panades, black dinner, things of this nature, sabutes. So me living and where I was...
Sabutes is not Belizean, so don't push that one.
But I mean, it's still one of our staples that we sell and we cook here. So even though it's not ours specifically, we still eat it, we still make it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So things of that nature, so yes.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You mentioned the salbutes thing, and you're right. But it's something that was brought from Central America
Correct.
to Belize. We have our traditional food, of course, and I think our food is tastier than the.
Correct.
I am biased.
You know,
than the
it
Central American.
has more, definitely has more flavor.
More flavor
Right.
because we like really pepper, and, we like really spices and things like that. Which, if I go to Guatemala or El Salvador, and I'll see this Honduras, maybe Honduras a little bit, but they know this food not as spicy as we want.
Right.
We go everywhere, and you have to have the bottle of pepper on the table, and we talk about real pepper. We talk Marie Sharp
Right.
and similar. While you go to them and you also pepper them and give you,
The vinegary stuff, more red dye and all of that.
Yeah. You get the stuff that's not that nice.
Right.
So there is a difference with the food with us and makes us different. How much time did you used to visit Belize often when you were here?
As much as I could and as much as basketball allowed. Unfortunately, basketball is year-round. From when you start in high school, I can run you through the timeline. So my schedule would look like high school ball throughout the school year. As soon as that ends around, let's say May, that's where AAU ball kicks up. And that's summer, where you're touring through different states, sometimes different countries, playing against different teams from different states. So then that takes precedent throughout your whole summer. And then that cycle continues as you enter back into the school year. So then you see there wasn't really much time for me to travel back. And then once you got out of high school, then college began. And due to playing Division I college, you spend a lot of time on campus more than the regular student.
Yeah.
So I was there during the summer, during Christmas breaks. We actually only used to have sometimes as little as 4 days home with your family. So a lot of the internationals didn't have a chance to even travel home. We would do things like host families, where families in the surrounding area who loved basketball, who grew to love the girls, would welcome in a girl, allow for them to stay and experience Christmas or whatever holiday it may be with the family. So I didn't get to come back very often, but as much as I could, I did.
Have an idea what kind of training you're going to go under?
For the
when
pageant?
you go to El Salvador,
Well, it will look like walking in a lot of heels, being on my feet, getting comfortable with my balance, critiquing certain things in my posture and my hands, because I like to do a little thing with my hands when I'm nervous. Yes, and as well as working on my communication, how I announce myself, how just my overall presence as Miss Universe Belize.
I like to think the hand thing is a Belizean thing.
Right?
If you watch any Belizean, we're very expressive with our
Yes.
hands, heart indeed. But one thing about the Miss Universe pageant is that I think sometimes people misunderstand it, that they think it's something superficial when it's much more deeper than that.
Yes.
These women who go, including yourself, you've done a lot of community work, and I want you to highlight that because you mentioned it, but I want to go a little bit more deeper into just how much the community work that you are doing and are planning to do.
Well, actually, I will be hosting a back-to-school drive in my own village in Mahogany Heights this Sunday at 3 p.m. where we will be giving back backpacks and school supplies as well as shilling wata, things for the kids to take a load off of the parents, because I understand I also come from a single mother, the youngest of 4, so I had to experience her working different jobs for longer periods of time, having to miss games due to her making sure that we have food on the table, clothes on our backs, having the things that I need to provide the money to pay for all of this training and all this traveling. So my first plan of action was to make sure I give back to where it is that my roots are directly tied to. My grandmother still currently resides in Mahogany Heights Village. So this was something that was at the very top of the checklist, but...
What's her name?
What is my grandmother's name? Rosalina Jenkins.
Okay.
Yes.
Just mention it, I know people are listening and say, oh, that's she.
Yes.
Miss Jenkins.
And Miss
Yeah,
Jenkins.
Okay. And she's the only relative you have there? Or
And no, my mother also lives there.
and you have cousins, I guess.
And all my cousins, yes, majority of my cousins, they're sprinkled throughout Belize City in the different Balama phases and so forth, but yes.
What does your grandmother think of your being Miss Universe Belize and going off? It's going to be in Puerto Rico, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
My grandmother is very proud. My grandma is she's a very timeless woman. She's very mellow majority of the time. So to see her excitement, it has been very, very emotional for me in a sense, because it's like, I'm able to fulfill this for her. I actually have a grand aunt who not created, but she participated in a Miss Belize pageant in Chicago. And it was crazy because we were going over it. I was contestant or delegate number 7 in the pageant. She was also delegate number 7 while she competed. So it was little things like that where I'm like, okay, this is really cool.
there
Like
you
I
go.
see the signs.
if you win, we know your life is going to be controlled by whatever controls the Miss Universe. But what's next for you after this? What's your plan?
Well,
what do you want to do with your life?
I would like to return to sports because basketball, I felt as though I haven't finished that chapter yet, but I'm just in a season where I'm allowing God to take me where it is that He wants me to be. I've kind of made peace with the idea that, Callie, this is how you want it to go. This is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to go. I've learned when you think like that, it's probably going to happen the complete opposite way. Because if you would have told me a couple months ago that, Callie Rose, you're going to be Miss Universe Belize, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But His will is greater than mine, and I know His plans for me are far greater than anything that I can think of. So I might be playing basketball. I know for sure I will continue to be developing women's basketball here in Belize, as well as just sports as a whole. I've been working closely with our runner-up, Samantha Jones, who is a volleyball player for the national team here.
Yes, a very good one too.
Yes, and we are actually getting a camp set up for the kids and possibly multiple camps to where we can go through, teach the kids some different stretches to help get their body loose, as well as some mind camp training to utilize my other degrees, teaching them the importance of mental health and how to make sure that you're regulating yourself, because there's a lot of things that take place within the world on social media that is easy for us to view and easy for us to get ourselves riled up. And being able to have the tools to know how to calm yourself down and regulate, reset, and reattack, I feel like that would be great for them to understand and carry into them into adulthood. Yes.
I
Go
I
ahead.
believe I didn't ask this or didn't get brought up, but having won this, what does it mean for you personally to be representing Belize?
What does it mean personally?
Yes.
Okay, ladies.
It means to me, it means that I have a whole generation of little girls looking to me. And beyond the title, I feel as though that's far greater than anything that you can produce, to give little girls or the younger generation hope and a chance at something that they're not typically used to, as well as a country. I am very happy to represent Belize. I love my people as well as where I'm from. So being able to showcase us in the best light through the little interactions or the big interactions that I'm having, I love doing that. And it's just been an overall surreal experience.
Okay, we can't avoid the fact that you've lived your life in the United States. And obviously you love Belize, but you do have friends over there. How are they reacting to this?
They're happy
Your
for
American
me.
friends.
Yes, it's crazy because I didn't speak on this before I did it. Very few people knew about me taking the steps towards Miss Universe Belize.
Okay.
So when it was first introduced, my village in the States as well as in Belize were very happy for me, and they were very supportive, because I've always wanted to be in the modeling pageantry realm. Just didn't know how I would do it without fully stepping away from basketball. But once I realized that's what I needed to do to possibly create more opportunities, as well as progress myself further, progress the younger girls of Belize further, even the younger boys, bring these opportunities here through the connections that I met. I was just like, you know what? It's not about me. It's greater than me. So I just had to take this step of faith.
At the end of the day, from what I've seen and I know of the pageants like the Miss Universe, the young women take they'll be asked, they have to portray what they want to do to make the world a better place. You've mentioned several things, and I suspect Belize will be your core where this is going to happen.
Yes.
Specifically, what are you going to tell them you want to do for Belize?
Well, my advocacy is to ensure that women's basketball be used as a vehicle to bring funding, to bring scholarship opportunities. There are different programs in the States in place to help with childcare, after-school childcare, transportation, to help with things like cost of needs for school, things like your backpacks, your housing, your meal plans. me being able to live through these things and experience them firsthand allows for me to know the knowledge behind, okay, if they have this here, what can we get started here in Belize? So I can't speak as in detail of the plans that I have.
But what you want to
Yes,
do, obviously.
but necessarily it will be the overall goal of bringing at some point a professional team to Belize, and hopefully behind it a national team as we start to grow Belizean basketball, because women's basketball is not a big sport
So
here.
your basketball experience is going to be a big part of your advocacy
Very much so.
and promote yourself,
Yes.
which is great. You know, it shows discipline. You're physically fit, obviously. You know, these things do help.
Yes.
You're no wimp little girl. You're out there. You know, and you're still
In it.
in a pageant.
Right.
You know, so that should help.
Yes.
You know, when is the Miss Universe contest? When is it?
It will be taking place in November.
Oh, November.
Yes.
So how long are you going to be in El Salvador?
Just about 2 to 2.5 weeks. And then I'll be returning
and then
to
you
Belize.
come back to Belize.
Yes.
And what do you do during that time to prepare?
While
you're-
in El Salvador or back in Belize?
Well, while you're to go to the competition,
Well-
to the pageant.
Just
Your
a-
training has continued somehow, or
Correct.
you have to get your costumes and your
Correct.
wardrobe and all that.
Yes.
Who takes care of all of that? You?
Our organization handles all of that for
Okay.
me. Yes.
All right. Do you have any say in that?
I do have a say. They do make sure that I am comfortable. That is one thing I want to address with that. They make sure that I'm comfortable and that I feel seen and heard. That is working with them directly. There's been, some questions about the legitimacy and so forth, but I feel as though Belize is in good hands with who they've chosen and as well as the organization, and working together than apart. Yes.
Okay. You mentioned the, young ladies, little girls who are maybe, looking up to you. What's your advice?
My advice to them is dream as far and beyond, as irrational as it may seem, as unrealistic it may seem. The most delusional people are a lot of times the most successful. You have to have a insanely amount of infatuation with the process as well as yourself to see through something that is not typically done. For me, I was told that I should stick to volleyball, that I didn't have a chance in basketball, but I went on to progress past some of my peers who were being seen above me as, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And if I would have listened to those things, there's no telling where I would have been. I actually played piano and I was in choir for a good majority of my life as well. I grew up in the church. So I actually attempted to attend a music for the arts school. And at that time, I was declined. I was denied from attending there and enrolling there. And if I think to myself all the time, and I tell my mom, like, I wonder how I would be if I went to music of the arts school. Like, what if basketball didn't take over? But that's the beauty of it. When you let go of your own plans, you can dream and you can form, okay, this is what I want to do for my life, and give it to God and trust that that will come to pass. But just because things may not look how it may seem at the time, you can't rely solely. Emotions are up and down, as well as things of this world that take place are up and down beyond our control. Something that we like to say in sports is, I need to control what I can control. You can control your attitude. You can control your demeanor towards things. You can control how you treat people. Those are the things that ourselves, that we can wake up and physically make sure, okay, this is how this is going to go. This is how this is going to go. Outside of that, it is beyond your worries. For them, I want them to know, pray through everything, and nothing is unrealistic, nothing at all.
Your favorite Belizean food?
I would say black dinner. That's what I grew up eating. Yes.
Wow, Victoria. Yeah, right off of my heart. Kali Rose West, thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thank you
Success
so
to you,
much.
right, Rich?
That's right.
Okay, we'll be back with more here on the morning show. Stay with us.
A weak tropical wave is making its way over the area. So in the 24-hour forecast, skies will be sunny with some cloudy spells today and then partly cloudy tonight. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will continue mostly over southern and some offshore areas this morning, then redevelop over the south again tonight. Elsewhere, showers or thunderstorms will be isolated. Then high temperatures will reach around 89 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 95 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 82 up in the hills. Low temperatures for tonight will reach around 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 75 inland, then 68 in the mountains. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 10 to 20 knots, with sea conditions being choppy. Then low tides occur at 12:09 this afternoon and at 10:18 tonight. High tides at 6:40 this evening, then at 4:53 tomorrow morning. The sun will set at 6:14 this evening, then rise at 5:37 tomorrow morning, while the moon will rise at 1:34 this afternoon, then set at 12:39 tomorrow morning. And now for the extended forecast. Skies will be cloudy with a few showers or thunderstorms, mainly over southern and central areas on Saturday. This activity will decrease during the afternoon. Then there will be isolated showers or thunderstorms, with slightly more developing over the south on Saturday night. Next, we have the sargassum update. There is a high chance that more sargassum mats could drift ashore, producing moderate to major impacts over coastal destinations across the country during the next few days. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected over the North Atlantic basin during the next 48 hours. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
church. And of course,
Yeah, so we're going to be talking
we are
about
talking to some actors and producers and playwrights.
Right, of course, we know that a woman named Nora, the stage production is coming up, and we have joining us on set, we have none other than Bernard Panton, Mr. Flavors himself, the president of Optimist Club 501, Shamira Gilcard, the stage manager, and two of the cast members, Vernon Bennett and Jason Cott-Kelvin. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, let's start off with this. Before we get into the stage play, let's talk about the Optimist Club 501, because you're putting this on as a fundraiser, correct? So tell us a bit about the Optimist 50 Club and 501 Club, and about why this is the fundraiser for you guys.
Sure. So Optimist Club 501 Belize has been around for 5 years now, and our main mission is the empowerment of youths across the country of Belize. So we have a regional representation in the west, the south, the north, and in central, and we also have members in the diaspora. So the ultimate goal is to empower youth across the country of Belize through whatever medium that we can. One of the initial initiatives that we actually started off with is, and it still is our annual fundraiser, which is a theatrical play.
Okay.
It was the idea of director and playwright Rigongra, along with some of the Optimist members in the diaspora, to actually launch this play. So we started off with Rigongra and some of the members like Miss Althea Leslie on stage first, and it grew as the years went by. We're proud to say that this year marks the 5th annual theatrical fundraiser, and this event really gives us funds to be able to carry out the initiatives that we have across the country of Belize. So we have some annual events like our Optimist International Day, where members go out and just spread goodwill in their regions. And then we have other stuff like competitions. We have a poetry competition that happens every year. We also have an essay competition that happens. And then you have some of the regional directors that also has their own initiatives in their regions. So this fundraiser really helps financially to carry out these events on a yearly basis.
How many
So
members you have now in the club?
currently we have 75 members. We started off with more, but as we all know, everybody always have this
Yeah, this happens.
this
Yeah.
boost, and then this happens. So it's amazing because both Mr. Bennett and Mr. Jason, they're actually new on the cast, and Mr. Bennett has already expressed his interest in being a part of the movement. So we pride ourselves in actually creating a bridge between generations, and we are really aspiring to have more youth like Mr. Jason involved in this movement as well.
Well, this year you've selected a really original story
Yes,
to
we did.
relate with this play. A woman named Nora.
Carl.
Which one of you will give us some details about what this is all about?
So, A Woman Called Nora is a play that is written and directed by Mr. Ray Gongora. It's actually the story of Nora Parham. This is way before my time, back in the 60s, where she is the only woman in Belize's history that has been executed. She was a victim of domestic violence, and the story or the narrative that's been told from generation to generation is not exactly how it went.
That's what we hear.
So
yeah.
the purpose of this play is to bring to light the information that was not passed down orally, because we don't know about her really in schools either. And so this is to set right what was passed on orally. The narrative was that when her spouse, or her common law spouse, went to use the bathroom, she pushed some gasoline through a hole in the latrine, light a match, and light her up. And based on information that we have received from archives, based on transcripts from the court hearing, as well as based on witness account, that was not exactly what happened. In fact, based on the original dying declaration of the victim himself, that was not what happened. He actually admitted the day before he died that he went home and he actually beat Nora Parham, and then as a result, she did stoned him with the can that had in gasoline because she was about to iron some clothes. And after which he went to use the bathroom, the latrine. But when he was in the latrine, he lit a cigarette to smoke. And he
Caught
himself
himself fire.
caught himself on fire, and he died the following day as a result of that. So the play actually bring that to light, and it actually bring up a major part of it is the actual court case. It opens the room for discussion for, like I said, domestic violence, and not only domestic violence, but it touches a little bit about her modesty, as well as police corruption back in that time. Because by the time the story reached court, it was a completely different story, based on what the police and the DC, the district commissioner, relayed in court. She was tried by a white man. The judge was a white man. The jury was a jury of 12 men. So it touches also about the injustices that she faced in regards to this specific event.
No, I think she deserves some redemption. I think she does, no matter what happened. You know, at that point in time. So telling the story. So the play is based on the court.
The play is based on the actual event leading into the court and the execution.
Okay.
And I think for the reason why it's a woman called Nora and not a woman named Nora was very intentional by Director Ray. I remember him saying it, and I thought about it after he said it. I was like, man, that's very powerful, you know, in saying a lot of women can be named Nora, but more so a lot of women could be called a Nora, right? And so it's very intentional in the way of how it was named, because we see it's not just something that happened in the 1960s, it's something that's been happening in the early 2000s and even now.
And it's still happening.
And it's still happening, it continues to happen. You know, a lot of women are being called Nora. And so we're trying to bring light on these conversations and these stuff.
So
about domestic
what's
violence.
the proper name of it?
A woman called Nora.
So we have here named Nora.
Yes.
So someone called Nora.
Yes, someone called Nora, yes.
Yeah. That you're right. That brings it out a lot differently.
Yes.
The connotation
So I think that's
is
very important for the
different.
public to know. You know?
But since we already heard from Jason, let's talk about to the cast, because I want to know about your character that you're playing and just how has it been. Is it your first stage experience? Tell us about it.
Well, for me, this is not necessarily my first stage experience. I've done a couple plays before with Miss Kathy Esquivel and Miss Melissa Espat. This one is more so different. It carries a historical weight to it, and one that really and truly deserves justice. I mean, all the other plays and all the plays that I've choose to be in are those that advocates for different things and situations that are happening in Belize. Predominantly domestic violence and gender-based violence, right? And so I wasn't a part of the original cast. Someone had started with them, and then that person had dropped out, and I received a call asking if I would be interested. Did not know what I was signing myself up for. I don't think anybody knew what they were signing themselves up for. And Director Ray kind of said, you know, I don't think this is anything you've done before, because you're playing 4 characters in this play. And you have to be dedicated and true to it, because no matter what happens, you have to make sure that you portray those characters with different personalities.
You're playing 4 characters?
4 characters, different personalities, different way of speaking and the mannerisms and everything that you have to bring across. And when you're on that stage, you have to make sure that the audience, they recognize the difference between the characters.
Why are you playing 4 characters?
I think it's a multi-rolling play, and Dr. Ray, he's a minimalist in the way of how he wanted to do the play. So I think that was kind of his intention in it. You all can correct me
Majority
if I'm wrong.
of the cast are playing more than two or more characters.
Okay.
So that's for everyone.
So right now we have 10 cast members.
Okay.
And so it's a big, we have short time, a big script.
Yes.
It was a bit like Jason mentioned, we had a couple replacements along the way. So it is easier to contain, and the actors that are on board was like, okay, let's do this.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
to tell this story.
Yeah.
So I believe the least one person have is two
Yes.
roles.
Yes.
Any of
and-
the characters have to, any of their characters have to be on the stage at the same time, like have to
Yes.
be one and have to go
Actually,
to the next side.
That
and
literally happens to me in one of the scenes where I play the foreman, and I just asked a question in the play, and then I have a music playing within 10 seconds where I have to walk over, put on that police hat, and I am now one of the constables that is testifying on the stand. And if I may add, myself and Mr. Vernon, it's even stated in the play itself, that we have two characters that are said to have brought down the gavel and had what, based on what we have done, have sent Mrs. Parham to the gallows, because what the character that I play, I heard something different from Nora, but when I'm in the court, I say something completely different.
I before you say anything else, I see your face same, but the way it is written, it is very creative. The way how he does the
Yes,
transition,
right.
So be rest assured.
No, it's interesting. I like the stuff off the
But that's a
standard.
good
No,
question. It was written in creatively. So
Yes.
even me, like when I say, okay, that's good, I had what he said, most of the people on there will have and I'm like, and I went through the script. And I said, but this person, this person, this scene, this person, because I have to break down the entire script. But then when I actually read through the script and understood how he made the transition between the actors, it made sense, and
Yes.
it was
Most
very,
definitely did.
it was done very creatively.
It was very intentional.
Yes.
So it's good.
You're the stage manager.
Yes, I am.
You have a big job. Yeah. You want to open all that. Mr. Bennett, what role are you playing?
Interesting.
Roles, I think you need to
Yeah,
say roles.
I have 4 roles.
You have 4 roles.
Two? Wow.
I just want to say this is my first. It's a territory I've first time acting. I got a call one day and they were asking, Ferdinand, you want? I jumped on it immediately. I didn't know what I was getting into. With that said, my first role is as a priest. That's how the play starts.
Okay.
It opens with a church scene. I'm the priest. For me, that comes natural for me because I'm also a lay minister. So that's
Okay.
a natural thing for me. And then I switch into a magistrate role after that.
Uh-oh.
Magistrate Balaramos. I don't know, you might remember we had Balaramos.
Balaramos sounds
I mean,
familiar.
a playful magistrate. When he give you time and he laugh and then kind of thing. Because I remember used to going up at where they had the magistrate court at the Pastor building and watch him. And then after that, my next role is the judge. And I hope people don't hate me for that because
Yeah.
I'm either the one who bring
Well,
me
from
down.
priest to judge.
Yeah,
you know.
priest to judge.
You get a prayer for what you
know?
pray for your
And
actions
then-
before.
The roles, one of the things I had to make adjustments because the character, I need to ensure that the character, that individual I'm playing, is what the audience are seeing. Like say the judge at the time was an Englishman, so my voice, I need to ensure that when I speak, I'm speaking like an Englishman, just to portray his character. For me, and then the story itself, I think us as Belizeans need to really understand what really transpired there. Nora was such a strong and powerful woman. There's a scene where the final part of the scene, she even designed her own dress.
Yes.
Designed her own dress, told them what she wanted to wear before being led to her being executed. One of the things she was very much concerned about during all that ordeal was her children. She loved her kids. She was very, very much concerned about them. Even right up to going up, walking up, she was
The last
reminded
second.
that, her kids, take care of them for me, take care of them, And the strength she portrayed during all her ordeals, it's so amazing. Here you have a woman fighting for her innocence, trying to let people understand she's innocent. Yes, she talks about all the abuse, blah, 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 etc., etc. And like I said, a lot of these things, they've been happening then, are still happening now. I look at the policemen, how they change up the statement there. No, I don't want bus. I don't want
you don't give us
the policeman.
you know,
Yeah. But some of those things are happening as we speak. They're still happening, right? It led right up to her being pardoned, but for me, the pardon wasn't enough. She should have been exonerated. All charges dropped against her, because when you get pardoned, that not to say that
well,
your punishment.
You don't want to give away the whole story, because I think you need to see it to understand it.
Yes.
Because some will say it may not have been murder, but it could have been manslaughter.
Right.
You know, that's why I think the pardon came into fruition, because she may not have been totally innocent. But I will agree when you say, you know, in fact, we see it in movies.
Yes.
A woman is so beaten up
Yes.
at the end of the day, and everybody get kill her.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you know, and you really can't blame for it. You know, so I think you need to see the play, see how this.
I think one of the important things as well when it comes to the plays, also the seeing the public conscience as well. We have several characters within the play that acts as the Belizean society. You hear all the gossips and all the rumors and all of that here. So what may happen in those times, I think it's very important, because then you don't just see what's happening in the court, what's happening with those involved directly in the case, but how things can be said and how things can be misconstrued in public eyes. You know, so I think that was very good and intentional.
So how is the you said you have a cast of 10?
Yes.
Who's playing Nora?
Rojane Perea.
Okay, well, she's here.
Yes, she's here, yes.
Is there a mix of cast members here and
There
in
is.
Florida?
Yes.
We have some that are in Florida and I believe New York.
New York, yes.
New York, and we are
yes.
here from New York?
Yes.
Wow.
I myself, I'm based in California.
Oh.
So our Zoom meetings to make sure everybody's schedule don't clash is our rehearsals are on Zoom right now. And our meetings are 5 a.m. Belize time, 4 a.m. California time, 7 a.m. Eastern.
time.
Yes.
So how are you going to bring this together? When is the play
Everybody gonna be
open?
The play launches September 11th.
September 11th. That's not far away. That's
It's
only
not.
a couple of weeks.
So the rest of the international people from the diaspora is coming in next week.
Okay.
And then from there we'll have our
You do the
in-person
actual stage
and yes, our actual stage. We've been doing blocking virtually. So the cast is already aware or have an idea of stage positions.
Yes.
It's just now a matter of being practical with it. So when everyone come in, that's when we'll be meeting in person, doing the actual and practical blocking, and then after that, dress rehearsals, and then showtime.
Okay. I just want to tell our listeners and viewers, the little music you hear in the background is an alarm going off on somebody's phone, and that these things do happen. So it's next week. Everyone is coming in.
Yes, sir. Like less than 2 weeks. The first couple of days in September, everyone will be in.
So by now, everybody should know their lines, though,
Yes.
which is the most important part. Once you know your lines, right? Blocking, start. You could block it and put it. And as stage manager, you have to make sure. How are you visualizing the set? What will it look like? Have you had a chance? I don't know. Any pictures or anything to
we
show
have.
me what it look like?
No, we don't. No, man. You say me could not let the cat out of the bag,
I'm
but.
talking about the set. How the court look then.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so
Things like that.
our set, we do have set building and backdrops, and we have scene changes because, like I said, we are doing like the journey from the actual event that happened into the court and the execution. So our set will depict the housing or the area where they live the court and actually prison when she's going into execution, when she
Okay.
does her interview in the interview
The
room.
gallows area and all of that will be.
Before we go into gallows, she has her interaction with a priest and so forth. So there are change of scenes on the set.
Okay. Okay. The actual event of the death.
So
that-
there.
How's that portrayed?
Yes. So it would be like kind of like how you say it, like a vision night type
Yeah.
thing where while a narrator for a part of the scene says something, you see the interaction between Nora Parham and Ketchel Trap. And then so there's a part that happens in the house just before she runs to report what happened.
Okay.
I think there's a part of the set that also a small part that happens in the police station as well. So there will be like scene changes,
Yes.
and then
That'll be interesting to see.
So it's on September 11th.
it's a very complex. It's not only a complex play, but it's a complex set. Like everything is complex, from the actors to the technical production side of things.
So you're
and-
building sets already?
Yes,
That should
we're
be in
working.
production already.
Yes.
Preparing the set.
Now, how are Belizeans able to see it? Where?
Yeah.
Right,
Tickets.
so-
Give us the details.
So we're having a tour actually. It starts in Belize City on September 11th. That's a Friday, and then the other show is on the 13th, the Sunday, at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts. You could purchase tickets for the Belize show at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts, Anna's Lunchbox, and also Cakes by Carla. We also have a online streaming the first day. That's the 11th as well. And we also have tickets on sale on the Quick Pass app. From Belize, we then go to Belmopan on the 14th of September, and we'll be at the UB Gymnasium at the Jaguar Auditorium. And we have tickets on sale at Brews and Bites for that event. The ticket prices for that event is $30. And then on the 15th of September, we go to Dangriga, where we'll be at the Russell Chiste Garcia Auditorium, and the tickets are $25. You can purchase tickets from Impact Design in Dangriga. And then last but not least, where Nora Parham was from, Punta Gorda, we have it at the PG Sporting Complex, and that's on the 16th of September. And you can get tickets at Festivity, Party Center, or James Borland in PG.
And on
That's
the Friday,
very-
on the Friday it's streamed live, right?
Yes, on
Yeah.
Fridays being streamed live.
That's very ambitious.
Right.
I know you do plays. You've done plays before.
Right.
Have you done the tour with these plays before?
Last year we did the tour, yes. So
Okay.
we've took on tours before this, and we've always been ambitious, in terms
Yes,
in terms
very
of carrying out,
ambitious.
our vision.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
especially moving the set, you won't be able to carry the whole set with you. You'll have to improvise.
Yeah,
These other bits.
there's a lot of visuals in it as well that we're working on, just to make sure that we could improvise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It will. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, all the best to you. And
Thank you.
Just before you go, repeat again where the tickets are available, so we remember.
Yeah, so in Belize, the tickets are at the Bliss Center for Performing Arts. It's at Cakes by Carla and
Friday and
Anna's
Sunday,
Friday and
September
Sunday.
11th,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cakes by Carla and Anna's Lunchbox.
Okay.
And then in Belmopan, it's at Brews and Bites. In Dangriga, it's at Impact Designs. And Punta Gorda, it's at Festivity Party Center and Mr. James Borland.
Alrighty. Looking forward to it. And when you have everybody together, then you really get the feel
Yes.
of what's going on.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. A woman called Nora. Don't say a woman named Nora. A woman called Nora. Stage production coming up September 11th, starting then. Put that date down. Vernon, Jason, keep up the good work. Of course, Shamira, you have a lot of work ahead of you. As stage manager, and Bernard is president of the Optimist Club. Are you playing a part in the? Are you have a part in the play? You don't have a part in the play. Alrighty. Thanks again. for
Thank you
coming.
for having
Thanks
us.
for
You guys
having
are with
us.
No problem.
It's been good,
It
it's
was a
been good.
pleasure.
Quiet.
Thanks.
And kudos to Ray to bring this story back.
Yeah.
You know, bring it to the 21st century. We'll be back, folks, with more here in the morning show. Don't go away.
Win the Encore Bundle.
We're back, folks. We're back. Good morning. Yes, once again to the morning show. And the lines are open if you want to join us and you have anything you want to bring up. We had some callers earlier today. Well, one caller had, and I hope somebody was listening that,
Oh, with
for the bicycle race.
Yeah, they fixed the little patches of holes that they have along the highway. Hopefully they do that, like I was mentioning. To fully repair it at this moment would not be possible, but I guess they could still patch it up just as a quick fix and then go back in afterwards to fix it, given the time obviously that we have for that in order to get that done.
That's right. What else is new? Well,
well, I mean, there's a lot that is new. There's one particular thing, but I'm choosing not to refer to that because that has been a hot topic for the entire week.
On social media?
Yeah, well, on social media right here, we talk about
what's
it.
hot on the social media
Should
environment that people are talking about most of all?
It's one of the things that we use every day. The electricity. That has been the hot topic for the entire week, and it was yesterday. Actually, was holiday off, so I when I decided to go back on social media just to check everything, that my timeline was flooded with tens, hundreds of maybe not hundreds, but a lot of posts back to back regarding this situation and the fact that. I think it's COPA, they call it, where there might be each month they determine whether it's going to might be an increase or a decrease. And I've seen so much persons who've put out they were showing screenshots of their bill and they'll say how much it has climbed from the past month and even over the course of like 3 months, just how much it has actually grown. In some instances, you have to be aware that the reason why it might climb is because of the it's summertime and you might be using more appliances or we might have them on running a little bit more than we usually do, and in other instances it's a mystery because you might not have be utilizing electricity as much. So one person in particular mentioned that she was not really at home for that month, and it's higher than they had expected. But yeah, that was the big talk from yesterday.
I'll tell you why. Why I think this is happening. Electricity rates are going up, but it's trying to be put to us in such a way that they are not saying electricity rates going up. Because I don't know about you, but the way the story came out that they have to regulate how they will charge you each month depending on what they pay.
Right, yes.
They're paying for it. And they put in new meters, which I think are a lot more sensitive than what was in there before.
It is.
They're not going to change meters. As far as I know, my meter was working well, and the company won't come and just change a meter just because they feel like changing a meter, or why change if it's not broken, why fix it? But I think what they needed to do was they're getting more meters that are more sensitive, so we'll pick up. We use a lot of electricity now without even knowing it. Everything we connect in our home now is always using electricity. It's not like 20, 30 years ago when you switch something off, it turns off. Now everything you're using, your TV never turns off. It's always on.
It's always on.
It's always on. So it's always burning.
Your AC units that you have in your house,
everything,
even if you turn it off, it's still
still burning because it's still they have memories now. Because of the way they are made digitally and how you have to, if you have to use a remote, for instance, anything that uses a remote doesn't switch off completely because then if it does, the remote won't work. So even though you go off, for the remote to work, to turn it back on, the device has to be alert.
It does.
And to be alert, it has to stay on. And to stay on,
it has to have some kind of
it's
memory.
burning electricity.
Yeah, it does.
So if you look around your home, you see a lot of little real red light or green lights. When you turn off your lights at night, you know, that little light here, a little light there. You know, all those things are burning electricity.
I think we often overlook.
So the new meter that
Detects.
they're putting in, detecting even that little bit of consumption. So obviously, they are trying so hard to tell us how much we are going to pay for electricity without saying the price has gone up. And the fact is, I think electricity rate high cost has gone up. Will go up.
I think it will. That's looking like
That's
an
what's
inevitability.
happening. Yes, that it's going up. Even the PUC has agreed that this has to happen. I'm not saying that BL doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, it's like you said, it's inevitable. Anything have to happen. But
It's not a straightforward story, because I understand as a consumer myself. I understand the frustration for having to see your bill, because my one has gradually gone up. I was surprised with it like a couple months ago when I saw just how high it had gone, because it had never crossed over to triple digits. I was always able to keep it below, but I chalked it up to the fact that I was utilizing more of the appliances in my house during a certain time, so I attributed it to that. But adding on to your point, we often ignore what appliances, what items we have powered in our home. Having on just the like, for example, microwaves. How you think if you leave your microwave plugged in the entire day, even if you don't utilize it, have food to warm up or whatever to warm up in there, that's still pulling, because you think that time is blinking there. It's not magic. It's the electricity, and I've tried to make a very conscious decision that every time I'm not using a light in the house, I decided to turn it off, unplug. Catch me. I think sometimes my partner, she's a little bit frustrated with me because whenever she goes out and walks back in, I go right out, turn off the light. When I say
I grew up like that.
Just plug it out.
Yeah.
Going to sleep with what we're done with the television, I plug it out. Sometimes in the morning, want to watch, like, why you plug it out? A little bit counts, because remember, when you reach there's a threshold where you don't pay GST. So if it's below 100, you don't pay GST on your electricity bill. However, the minute it goes to 100 or above, you have to pay that 12.5%. I think that's what some people might not even be aware of too as well. But people are frustrated right now because just how high they have gone, how high the electricity bill has gone.
Hotels now use a system where when you enter the room, they give your keys a card-shaped thing where they are. Just as an example, the hotel door lock
is electronic.
You tap it with the card and the door opens. So for that to happen, that lock is using electricity constantly. It never goes off, okay? And then when you enter the room, it's all dark, nothing is working. Then you take the card and you put in a little slot by the door. When you do that,
it powers
the room.
Yes.
When you leave, you pull that out, everything goes dark.
Mm-hmm.
For the same reason. So if you could get something like that for your home, the problem we have, but this is only a small inconvenience, like your TV, power it off. The problem you have is when you turn it back on, you have to wait for it to reprogram itself.
Right, but
and then this is what we don't want to be happening. You have to wait,
But I think
it may be worth it.
Yeah, look, we have to accept the minor inconveniences because they are minor. If your TV takes a minute to really fully power back on, having plug it back in after you plugged it out, I think that's fine compared to having to spend. I don't know how much more it will consume if it stays plugged in for the entirety of the time. I mean, I wish we could do that with our refrigerators, but something like that, it's not.
Well, if you really look at it closer, maybe there is something you can do about your refrigerator. If you and your your family are not going to be home
Well,
for the whole day, basically. You know, that door isn't going to be opened. Now, the refrigerator itself has a cycle. It turns itself off, turns itself back on, you know, during that period. And if the door is not going to be open, or at night, I know of someone who has put a timer on their refrigerator. They don't open the door of that refrigerator after, say, 10 o'clock at night until 7 or 6 o'clock the next morning. So they time it so that the fridge goes off at 10 and kicks back in around 5. You see? So for a few hours it's not working. And they say it works.
It works?
They say
All right,
because the
well,
door is not opening, so the refrigerator
everything
stays
stays cooled, right?
Cold, and then it kicks in an hour before you start using it again. So between 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 hours, the power is off completely.
Unfortunately, the only good thing about blackouts is when you don't have to worry about it
there
being
you go.
forward. That's the only good
Yeah,
thing.
well.
One thing I did look up, right? Because I saw this post and I had to figure out if it is true. I asked about dirty fans because, let's be honest, some of us, I'm guilty of this, and I realized I need to probably go to this evening. Dirt, when it accumulates on the fan, does it make your fan burn more energy? It says, yes, dirty fans can pull more electricity, and that's because the dust and the dirt that builds up on the blade, it adds extra weight and creates a drag. And so the motor needs to work harder for spin the blade. And that extra spin makes the motor use more power. So to all my Belizeans out there, if you're like me and you know that your fan is dirty, please clean it. We might have to. It might drop you a $1 or $2 in the next bill cycle, but just do whatever. We have to start to do whatever we can.
The reality is that the electricity rates are increasing. No matter how they paint it, how they put it, they don't use the word increase. You notice they're not saying that, but the fact is that is the reality. The price of electricity in Belize is going up. Unfortunately, it's happening at a time when a lot of things are going up. So the reaction I'm sure you're getting on social media going up again, the price going up again, So that's the reality that's happening here. You when you charge your phone, it's using electricity.
It is.
And you leave it connected even after they finish charging, and you say, well, it stopped charge, but it's still
the pull.
that minute, and that's what I think the new meters are doing.
Yeah.
The new meters are recognizing that little dribble and putting it as a charge. Again, BL needs to pay for electricity, so obviously they have to charge for it.
Yeah, in that sense, I mean, I can understand it. I mean, I understand the frustration, but we have to look part that they are the ones who have to purchase it, supply it to us, and they have a cost that they need to.
They have to make a profit. All this, we as Belizeans, we need to recognize all of this works, so you can plan your own life around and manage your budget a lot better. Over the weekend, I was at Cujo Resort in Corozal, which is a resort just going up. A friend of mine is building a resort there, and it's right by San Esteban and Shonosh on that road. And they are totally solar dependent, completely solar dependent. Each building has solar panels on the roof. They run everything on solar. Because, first, when they approached BL said, well, I can't reach you yet, or we'll have to do this, we have to put on lines, transformers, and so on.
But they
decided they will go, even their cars, even the vehicles are solar powered.
All right.
And he will, I said, but you might need BL at some point. He said, I don't know if I'll ever need BL at all at some point. And each building has the solar, everything is solar oriented, and they have when they build now, they build with a little room that's for all the batteries and the other equipment that the solar needs.
Yeah.
The power room as such. And they say it's not that expensive. It works.
Well, I mean,
however, we had an experience, and this is where we learn things. We had our friends from
I know Evolution Motors, right?
Cars, you know, it has an advantage, but it's again something you have to get used to. You know, we got a room. We stayed the night, and they forgot to tell us that the AC was running. You have the AC in the bedrooms, and you have the AC in the living room. And they forgot to tell us that because of the size of the batteries that they have in that particular building, you have to ration the power. So what caught us, around midnight, the AC stopped working in our room. And at first we got up and we know this thing not to work. We found out the next day is that the batteries drained during the day.
So it does have some limitations to that.
And you have to...
So there's
that particular building, because it says that that building needs a bigger grid, you know. So that you have to remember. So solar energy is becoming more affordable. You know, they have companies here, that sell you a package.
Well, there's one right up near Corozal, and I'm wondering if you
right
utilize
there.
the same
That's
one.
the same one.
I mean, I know the initial investment to have everything installed might seem exorbitant, but it will pay off eventually with the amount you will save from not having to.
The thing is that you have different qualities of panels. I have had very bad experience buying just some lights with panels on them. They didn't last very long, and so on. But there are better ones that can do that. So, looking at the solar option should be considered by anyone who has a little extra somewhere, and you can buy yourself a couple of panels, put a couple of lights or things. They sell batteries now that work like generators. You can charge them and connect to them. It might be worth looking at, guys, because I know BL and the government are looking at ways to improve this. I know we've gotten loans, I think, from the Middle East, a Middle Eastern country, to put up a solar farm.
Right.
But guess what? With the war affecting that part of the world now, you know, that could have problems in the near future. So think about it. As far as we are concerned, electricity rates gone up, and you have to be very smart on how you use your energy in your home. With that said, it's 8:30. Take a break. We'll be back with our guests. about the championship? What's been going on and where we are now?
Yeah, well, Saturday we'll be hosting the National Youth Club Championship. We're hosting the U13 boys and girls, U15, U17 finals, and then in the end we'll be having the grand event, the 10K inter-district championship between U Creek and Wings Police.
And this is a national tournament.
Yeah. So basically, how do you get there? You must have been a champion of your regional tournament.
Okay.
And then you were qualified then to play in the group stage, where it's a one-day tournament basically. And you had to be the winner of your group to play off in the finals basically. That would be hosted this Saturday.
What's the age range again?
We have 4 different categories in youth. And then we have the national amateur inter-district. So we were going to have 5 finals. We have youth 13 girls, youth 13 boys, youth 15 males, youth 17 males, and then we end off the day with the amateur finals.
And when is that?
That's Saturday.
This Saturday?
This Saturday, August 22nd.
At the
FFB Stadium.
FFB Stadium. Okay.
Yes.
So you'll be gathering everybody there for the day.
Yes, so it's going to be a full day of football at the FFB. Like Ms. Grisha said, it starts as early as U13. Sorry, the youngest age is U13, and the games kick off as early as 9 a.m. So it's going to be a full day of football, ending with the 10K match that kicks off at 7 p.m.
So what each team that's coming, what did they have to go through to reach this stage in their, like you said, their region or district or whatever?
So the FFB has 10 different regions, and the 10 host their own regional tournaments. Their own clubs participate within that region. The champion of that region moves forward to the national phase, which is the one we are looking at right now. We had, for example, in the first division, we had a knockout tournament at the national level. We had the group of 12, the group of 8 quarterfinals, group of 4 semifinals, and now the finale with the 2 champions, which are the champions of champions. You can call it, yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a plan, right?
Yeah, yes, it does. So you said it's one day event. So so you already structured it to start at what time again? 8?
9.
9. And it goes all the way to what time you're expecting it to run to? And I know for football games, you normally have the 90 minutes plus injury time, but...
Yeah, well, kicking off at 9 will be our first match. Our last match is scheduled to play at 7 p.m., which roughly would be 2 hours, so from 9 to 9.
Each game will run 2 hours?
No, not each game. Okay. At the U13, U13 is less minutes with like an hour, but at the U15, U17, it's 35, and U17 is 45, as well as the first division, which is 45.
All right. This isn't the first time this has been occurring, right?
No, it's not.
So I asked that to ask this. How have you seen it grown since the very first time in terms of not only the structure of it, but as well as the level of play from these young athletes? Have you seen it truly help them develop and then become even more interested in honing their skills, discipline, etc.?
Absolutely, not only in the development aspect, but also at the platform that is given to them for our technical staff to be able to do to view these players, to see these players, because sometimes they are not able to be everywhere across the country. But when we bring them together, they're able to scout and look at the outstanding abilities of some of these players. And I mean, it does bring communities as well together. So every year it becomes a bigger event. For example, last year I'm gonna say it was a successful event, but today I think it's gonna at this weekend we're expecting much more than that.
Typically, how is this structured? Is it by district, or you said by region, by district?
Yes.
How does it begin? Do these players come from school tournaments and
for their community?
How does the district end up with this team that will be coming for this? I mean, it come from different sources. Who leads it? Is it sports council leadership, or I don't know, the neighbor or who's coaching. Or somebody has to make it possible.
Okay, so like Sandra mentioned before, FFB is structured where we have 10 football regions. In the regions, there are different advantages. Each region has their own unique thing about them. For example, I've been working in Belize City, so I'll focus there. In Belize City, we're able to have clubs, whereas some regions, they're able to utilize the school teams. So not only school teams, but also clubs intertwined. So there's a variety, there's differences as to how we come together. Regions have club teams, and then this is a club championship, not an elite program where there's the best of the best. You had to play in the club tournament regionally, win your area, and then move on to the knockouts phase, win that tournament, and then end up at this level to play for the championship this Saturday.
Who are the people that make this possible?
The
you have to have coaches.
I
you
think
have to have guardians, parents.
It is a
these
combination.
young kids.
It is a combination of the Football Federation of Belize ensures to create an environment for these players to come, to be able to play and just have fun, especially at the grassroots level that we're looking at development, and for them to just enjoy and start to love the game, so that eventually it grows and who knows, sometimes go professional or abroad. So, sorry, I lost my train because I'm so focused on that. But what I'm saying is that also we have the communities. Like she said, schools, clubs. We have clubs that are focusing on development for years. They have different categories, and they participate in our tournaments. Parents sometimes. Sometimes it is most of the times it's parents that are right there. I mean, she can tell you she works on the field. Marking a field, we have a parent, a dad, a mom who brings in the water, who helps mark the field, who moves the players around to bring them, to the venue where they're going to play. It is a combination of teamwork.
At some point, though, you need somebody with some expertise. Somebody who will say, "What are the best coach in the world?" And how to train the kids.
I think
and,
at the district level, the federation has placed technical officers.
Okay.
And so the technical officers do oversee more the ground level. So that's how the federation has that reach in the different districts, for example.
Okay.
Although we are divided by different.
The federation, you mean the FFB?
The Football Federation of Belize, yes.
Okay, where does the government or ministry come into this play?
So really and truly, the National Sports Council, I think, is trying to find ways how to collaborate with federations, but this specific competition is solely sponsored by the Football Federation of Belize. So like Ms. Sandra again would have mentioned, the federation understands the importance of starting competitions at that younger level. So years ago, we started at U15. Before that, it was probably U17 and U20. But now this year, we're as low as U13 because we understand the importance of attracting talent or scouting talent or identifying talent from that very young age and starting to ensure that they have trained coaches. The Federation has invested so much in ensuring that we provide capacity building opportunities for coaches across the country. And so when these kids are training with these coaches who, yes, are in fact parents who probably got involved because they want their child to be in a safe environment, they want to be involved, we are able to now start as early as U13, and we're hoping that every year we're gradually going to start younger and younger and provide these safe playing spaces for the children of Belize.
How are we seeing it when it comes to girls? Because obviously with boys, there's this general interest. You go up to almost anywhere in the country, boys find a place to play football or whatever, then they kick ball. But how about for girls? Since this has started, have you seen a growing interest in young girls wanting to be a part of football?
Young girls have always wanted to be a part of football. I don't think that the interest is what's affecting them playing games. The reality is that we have to be able to provide more facilities, for example, for these girls to play. The reality is that a girl, like I was explaining earlier, a little girl can't change in the open space, right? So when a parent wants to send this little girl to play, they need to ensure that there are changing rooms, that there are bathrooms, that who will be the persons responsible, get more female coaches involved, for example. But this is why the Federation has also incorporated just the safeguarding component to ensure that these spaces are safe. Our number one priority is ensuring that the kids are safe. right? Of course, we want to ensure that we provide platforms for football development, but the number one priority will always be their safety. But this Saturday, for example, we are having the U13 girls compete. And so this competition also provides that platform where these teams get to go to the big stage, right? Everybody is so excited to go to the FFB where the national team plays and be able to showcase their skills. So things like this attract more girls. Everybody wants to have that opportunity to go to FFB to play, and it encourages them. We also ensure that we try to highlight as much success stories as we can at the Football Federation of Belize so that the girls understand that, yes, you can play and we encourage you to play, but beyond that, there's so many opportunities, scholarship opportunities. You can go and study. We've heard of so many of our athletes who go through Sixth Farm University, get their master's degree all through a football scholarship. So the opportunities are there, but we just, at the Football Federation of Belize, want to ensure that we're providing that environment where they can be successful.
Of course. The schools have a competition too, right?
Yes.
How does that fit into this program?
Okay, like mentioned before, every region has their advertises. There are regions that are fortunate enough to have clubs, like more populated regions, whereas some other regions, like for example...
Is that different from schools? Because I know the schools have the football competition.
Like the
District, all the districts, it's different schools.
It is different.
Definitely, it's
It is
different.
It's different.
We are lucky that our country, if you notice, football maybe, and I'm just being biased here. It's a favorite sport, football itself, but we have a lot of football competitions from different entities and different organizations.
I'm trying to.
The Football Federation
it out.
has its own within its regions and associations, while National Sports Council holds their own. The Catholic Church has also their own.
Bishop
So I mean, it's across the board. We have a lot of.
But are those teams, from those teams, would you get these players coming to this?
Sometimes,
Or
I think sometimes
is
there
a
is.
mix? Or
Yeah, a mix.
There happens a mix at
The
some
kids
point.
that plays in both. You play for a club, for example, in Belize City, there's a club. I'll just give a word, Belize United. They're a club, an after-school program, and the same kids there are part of their club, which is the after-school program, also play in their primary school team. So the kid not only play in the primary school tournament, they play in the Bishop Cup tournament and also the regional tournament that is hosted by the FFB.
Right.
And then Sports Council highlights this year they had their Super Nationals, and FFB not only has regional tournament, but we have Club Elite and HPP programs also, which highlights the same amount of kids. So the more games that they play, the better they basically get.
But what I'm saying, at some point, the talent.
Oh, of course, there's mixed.
There's a blend.
Of course, at all levels.
It happens,
At all levels, because even with the coaches that the programs that Federation hosts to provide courses for these coaches also participate in all the different tournaments that are ongoing within the different organizations as well.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to talk a bit about the NAIC finals, because that's going to be between, you said, Wings Police FC and Yo Creek. So how did this one come? Because I understand that this is the young adults, if I'm not mistaken. So how did these two teams reach to this final?
Okay. The National Interdistrict Championship, Club Championship, it's a tournament that we host annually. We started this year with 12 teams. These 12 teams were all champions of their regional tournament. They had to win their region, and then they're qualified, meeting all the criteria, of course, to play in the national tournament. So we kicked off with 12 teams. It's a 7-week tournament, and it's a knockout series, which means it's a home and away, basically.
Okay.
So you play 2 games. You must win the series to qualify for the next round. So from the round of 12, we went on to quarterfinals, the round of 8, and then down to round of 4, which is semifinals, and then we're at the grand finale. So Yo Creek basically had won every single series to reach to this final, and it's the same for Wings Police.
And these players, this is all amateur. So we're not going to see any of those big names like Cristiano or anything like that. These are for amateur level, and that's a must. Is this like a age restriction, meaning that you can't be over a certain age, or is it once you just have that amateur status?
It's not about the age, but the status itself. If you are registered with us as a professional player, then there is the professional platform that you have, which is the Premier League of Belize. And if you're registered as an amateur, then you can play at our amateur tournaments.
But the tournament does provide an opportunity for coaches from the PLB to scout new talent, because what this competition does is that it brings out a lot of the players from a lot of villages that would have otherwise not had the opportunity to get scouted, to get recruited, right? And so because it's the National Amateur Interdistrict Championship, a lot of coaches would come out to scout new talent for their PLB teams.
Where these coaches come from?
So coaches from the PLB, for example, are across the country, because PLB teams usually have representation across the country. So these coaches would come out, and this is how oftentimes you see a player from Mid-South, for example, getting scouted to play with Verdes or things like that, you know, because they get scouted through the National Amateur Interdistrict
Because
Championship.
I hear that we have a shortage of coaches. We do or we don't?
You definitely don't.
Well, and I'm not talking about real coaches. I mean, not a parent or father who decide, you know, the
Licensed definitely
I'm
don't.
talking about qualified coaches.
Qualified coaches. The FFB not only hosts platforms or development programs or competition. We also have a coaching education department.
I know that. I
we do
realize
have
that. I know we have a
licensed
good level.
coaches.
But I'm
and-
talking about these teams that are coming, you know, all these districts.
Oh.
They are all exposed to a professional coach.
A required licensed coach. One of the
Okay.
criteria is that you must have a coach that has a C license minimum to head coach to head your team. So definitely they have a structure basically.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
would
that is
think,
good.
and I would think this is because you wanted to, yes, you want the kids to have fun, but you also wanted them to develop, because I believe that under what these coaches offer is not just all right, we're going to run plays, but they help with this development so that these children learn and
Structure.
can grow under their tutelage. Correct?
Okay, as ladies who are very involved in sports, you know, football and so on, what do you think of those who say, we just want to play, they don't have to win. We teach them that losing is also good.
I think that there is an objective at every different category. I mean, each at the inter-district level, I'm sure it's about the winning at that stage. But when we're talking about grassroots, the U13 level, the objective is for these kids to have fun and to learn how to kick a ball, you know, and learn the health. Also teach the kids about the health behind football as well, and the development skills and all of these things. I think that at every category, it is different. And also, with both boys and girls, it's also different. I think sometimes we consider that football across the board is the same, but they are two different products. We have the female and the male product. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are, you know, one is better than the other or completely different, but they're just understand that these are two different products, one as good as the other.
When do you change the coaching style or the discipline style to say, okay, losing is not good? No, we're not in here to lose. We're here to win.
Okay, like Sandra mentioned before, the level plays a big difference. Below 10, I would say, you play for fun, to love the game, to fall in love, to be passionate about it, to want to come every day, to say, Mom, take me to the football field. But as young as 10, you would say you learn the rules of the game and start being competitive.
Right.
Again, it has to do with the coach philosophy and what they basically imply. If you're a club, you focus on development, I would say, then you would then teach the kids the proper way, proper structure, their position. If you move on to maybe youth 15, youth 17, you're then thinking about, okay, I've developed these kids from youth 10. By now, they're playing a style, a structure. They know advancement football, basically, and they're there to compete. So again, it has to do with your philosophy as a coach, what you serve as, if it's development or to win, and the level the kids, basically their age group.
Because even at that level, though, somebody will win and somebody will lose.
Of course.
You know, and we tend to reward those who lose as well. You know, and some people will say, we should not be doing this. This is a part of the problem we have. You know,
I think it's about teaching them. I think part of the problem is that kids don't know how to lose also. So it's important that
they must learn how to lose.
They must learn how to lose, and they must learn how to win, and they must understand that victories are to be celebrated, and losing just means that you get to go back to the drawing board and improve on your skills, right? but it teaches them that just because you lose, it doesn't mean you have to give up, for example. So you see, football provides kids with so much more than just their playing skills or being active. It provides so much learning opportunities. It provides opportunities to learn discipline, to learn respect, to learn about winning and losing, because it's all part of the game. And then you'll stop seeing kids out there getting so upset, or adult players getting so upset and cursing when they lose. No, you have to be able to, I think that a big part of improving has to do with accepting.
Can you teach them to be good losers?
I think anything can be taught, honestly. you don't want anybody to be okay with losing, but you want them to understand what can come out
Why
of losing.
lost and accept it.
I feel as if winning or losing is not always it. It's about if you give your all.
At a certain age.
Of course, every level. If I go there today knowing that I give my all to my teammates, to my team, and it was just not enough, the team was probably better, more structure and so forth, then I must be okay with that and go back to the drawing board in the sense of work a little bit harder. So it works as a motivation for you for the next game.
I guess it's up to the fast back to the players too, because it's up to you. You have to decide what you want to do with that loss. You want to sit down, cry about it, and do nothing, or get back up and try to become better. And
Definitely, it is. I think it's a perception, from each person how they want to take it. For example, this weekend on Saturday, we're gonna have a lot of winners, and I'm pretty sure that some of these teams that have made it this far consider themselves winners right now. In fact, yesterday we had the group stage. We had a team from PG coming in. These girls consider themselves winners at that moment already, because they were so excited yesterday when they walked in, and to see the facility itself. Yes, the joy in their face brings joy to all of us.
We have arrived.
And having fun with that.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I love what you're saying. So remind us. The game is this Saturday. The games are this Saturday.
So all the action, a full day of football kicks off this Saturday at the Football Federation of Belize. Games kick off as early as 9 a.m. And we're going to be having games in the youth categories. It's going to kick off with the U13, U13 male, followed by U13 female, U15, and then U17. And then we end the night with the teams competing for the Grand 10K prize. And that game kicks off at 7 p.m.
Okay, so it'll be a full day of
football.
Come back and leave.
Yes, and we're gonna have food and drinks for sale, and so it's going to be a family day, and we invite each and every person to come on out and watch these kids showcase their talent, but also cheer them on. These kids made the choice to be out there training and to be out there playing, and we also always have to encourage kids who make these choices.
That brings me to my final question. You mentioned cheering. We always have to ask the fans to come out. And I know you have a fan base, right? All these districts, these games are playing because the parents show up and everybody shows up to watch the games. Am I right?
Of course.
I think last weekend I was driving past a village coming back to Billy City and Ali. There was a game being played in a village by the roadside, and Lee stands were, everybody crowded and, But then, why at the end of the day, when we play professionally, we have to, we don't want to come out and watch the game or things like that.
I think it's something that the Football Federation is we're working hard to rebuild, right? I think in the past, it's no secret that in the past, these stadiums used to be filled to capacity, but we're slowly starting to rebuild that trust in not only so this is club, which means that the villages, the homes, the families, they come out to cheer on, but for the national team, it's player based, right? It's a national
team,
and so we're trying to rebuild that trust in the national team. We're getting there slowly, and like I said, the investments are now starting way younger, so targeting the kids from a younger age to ensure that we can start seeing those results for the national teams.
Is there a charge to go in?
Yes, so we're charging $5, and after
that's nothing.
That's because we want people to come out and cheer on these kids.
Can I pay my $5 and go in and watch a game? I have to run out and do some shopping and come back. And
yes, definitely. Yes, and we're going to have security, so it's going to be a safe, nice environment for families to come out and cheer on these.
And I love your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
All right. The one last thing I wanted to have is cheerleaders.
Okay, we'll work on that. We'll make you want choreograph it for him.
Okay, Sandra, Korsha, Yasmin, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
and
having
all
us.
the best and success, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keeping these kids busy. how many kids you think, just the top of your head, you're influencing and affecting with this kind of thing? A few hundred?
Yeah, definitely. I would say about 300 minimum for the program itself, for category actually.
Yes.
Yeah, per category.
Definitely
That's
per category.
awesome. So where you go on with the country?
Yeah.
Yeah. You finish?
Yeah.
Your girl takes you or what?
Oh, that's a mix.
She doesn't know where you are?
No, not that. All right, so it is 9:01, and we've reached the end of today's morning show. We want to say thank you to everyone who was instrumental in putting together today's show. Ms. Manuela Ayuso, the producer, MCO for today. We have William Usher in Love FM studio, Armin Arana helping us stream online. We have Andrew Jones, and to each and every one of you from near and far, thanks for being a part of the morning show.
Take care of yourself this weekend. Be kind to somebody today. Belize and beyond. Thanks for choosing love.
Good morning, Belize, and good morning. I say good morning, Belize, and good morning. And how are you this morning?
Wake up every morning, life go to work and get the light.